To mark my race or ethnicity on government forms, I used to put African American and Hispanic, but as of more recently, I've just started putting other or not marking it at all, honestly, because I feel like that's kind of unfair to identify myself as that. But if there is an option for Caribbean Islander, then I will put Caribbean Islander and Hispanic. For me, being Afro-Latina means belonging to many and none. My mother was from Mexico and my father is of Jamaican descent. And when I was growing up, I always liked that there was kind of this mix of cultures and celebrations and music and food. It was just really beautiful. I don't think I really even questioned my identity or how I identified myself until I got to middle school, when I had a teacher, I don't remember her name, but she asked me in front of the entire class whether I identified myself as Black or African American. And I was super shocked. I had never identified myself as either of those things. I wasn't really sure what to say back to her, and so I blatantly told her that I was Mexican also, and she kind of didn't really know what to do, and I was just I consider myself Black and Mexican, and that's always how I really thought of myself. A lot of times being Black, you get grouped together with other African Americans or African people, and many white people, I think, in general, don't really understand that those are very different cultures. They're different things, completely different people with nothing more in common than the color of their skin. And so when I was ever grouped with the other Black kids at my school or asked why I didn't hang out with them, I never really knew why at first. But then later and now, I know that we don't share the same culture, and that makes it difficult, I do feel a connection with other African American people when it comes to going past stereotypes, but at the same time, the way that we're educated, at least the way I was educated, is very different, I feel culturally, from how other African Americans were educated, and so it kind of makes it difficult for us to come to a consensus of how we want to be perceived and how we want to pass these stereotypes, Even with my parents, sometimes it's hard to get them to understand how isolated it can feel to be in a place that is kind of the Midwest is kind of known for not being super culturally diverse, and to have them understand that it is lonely being of so many cultures, but it's nice at the same time, as I said, you're part of a lot of cultures and you get to enjoy all those, but you're also not really part of any of them.